Season 5 of Breaking Bad. This by far was the most intense season out of the series and very heartbreaking. So, before I get into the review, I just want to say that there will be some heavy spoilers in this review. So, if you have not seen the series, click off the video because it's going to ruin everything. So, getting into or starting the review, I wrote some notes here. I always write some notes, especially for this, for reviews like this. Um, so, after the events that happened in season 4, Walt and Jesse go back into making meth on their own after Gus dies or gets blown up. Jesse and Walter start making meth, and they have a very uh, clever way of doing it. Um, they got these guys acting like they go into these houses to get rid of termites, and they put this tarp over the house to keep the gases in. And the family that lives in this house, they go away, to stay in this um, a hotel or whatever for a few days. So Walter and Jesse get to go in these houses, and they make their meth. And then when they leave, they finally do set off gases to get rid of termites and stuff. So that's their new operation now. Things with Walter and Skyler are, they're still pretty bad, and she's gotten to the point where she kind of hates him, and she even tells him that she's counting down the days until his cancer comes back and kills him. That was really, really sad. Um, so they're running out of methylamine, and they decide to rob a train. And that was one of the most intense parts of the season. That had me on the edge of my seat, hoping that they would pull it off. Well, a kid gets killed right after they rob the train. A kid sees them do it, and a guy named Todd, a new guy that's been working with Jesse and Mick and Mike and Jesse. Todd just pulls out his gun, shoots the kid off his dirt bike, and so that next episode after that was very sad because they were taking apart his dirt bike, putting it in this big barrel, and dissolved it with acid along with the kid's body in another barrel. Yeah, like the show doesn't pull any punches. So Mick is like this guy that's helped him out in the past. He's like a hitman slash bodyguard or whatever. And they went into business with him. But now after the kid gets killed by Todd, they don't trust him. They want him out. Jesse wants out along with Mike. I don't know why I keep saying Mick. I'm not reviewing Rocky. So Mike and Jesse want out after the kid gets killed. They don't want, nothing to do this anymore. They want to retire. And Walt doesn't. He's gotten to love this kind of work now. He wants to build an empire. He wants more and more money. He wants to, make something out of this because he's really good at making mess. So he wants to continue it and become like a drug lord. Uh, so Hank starts to, in one episode, Hank is over at Walter's house, and he goes into his bathroom to take a shit, and he's messing with the magazines and stuff on the back of the toilet, and finds this book with some evidence in it that makes him put the pieces together and eventually find out that Walt is the guy he's been looking for since season one, Heisenberg. So, the last maybe uh, 6, 7 episodes was very intense, and I know I keep using that word a lot, but this show has got some intense moments, and so everything with Walt and Hank now. Hank now knowing that Walt has been behind this for ever since season one. So I think this show is happened over the span of 2 years. Like in the storyline, 2 years has passed. So Hank has been searching for Heisenberg for 2 years. So in season five, he finally finds out that it's Walter all along, his own damn stepbrother. That was really sad, man. Just watching Walter's life fall apart season after season is very, very sad. And there was some hard moments to watch. Because the show feels so real, and it's so good. Like the writers of this show, they know how to play on your emotions. They know how to get you really invested in the characters, and that's brilliant. Like everybody that has worked on this show are fucking brilliant. The show is damn near perfect, in my opinion. It's now my favorite show ever, beating Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones was my favorite show, but this has whooped his ass. Sorry, Game of Thrones. But now I have a new show, and I fucking love it. Now I'm rewatching it. I'm already like 4 episodes in to the first season again, because I just can't get enough. Like, after I watched the last episode, I sat there and I'm like, damn, it's fucking over. I mean, yeah, I got the spinoff show Better Call Saul. Well, it's on Netflix. Um, yeah, I got it, but it just won't be the same because it doesn't have Walt and Jesse in it. Oh, well, I don't know. Well, I mean, it won't have Walter because, spoilers, he died in the last episode. It might have Jesse. You might see him. I don't know. I haven't watched it, but and I will say that I am going to watch Better Call Saul. I just don't know when, because a lot of my TV shows has got done with their summer break and now they're on TV now. So I'm having to watch them, keep up with them. So now I got my hands full, so I don't really have time to start a new show. Um, so I'm gonna have to catch up on some shows on TV, and then I don't know. I may start at the beginning of next year or whenever my shows take another break again. But now there was one part that I was like, "What the fuck?" A what the fuck moment. Um, Walter Jr. finds out that his dad is Heisenberg, that he's the one making meth. Or he's been making meth. He's been lying for 2 years. Well, okay. Skylar pulls a knife on Walter, and because she suspects that he killed Hank, because Hank dies. And I won't go into that because I don't want to go into every little detail. But yeah, Hank does die, and it wasn't. It was kind of Walt's fault, but he tried to call things off, but things happened anyway, and it resulted in Hank getting killed, and Jesse being kidnapped. So Walter tries to get Skylar and Walter Jr. to pack their bags because they're gonna start a new life. And Skylar pulls a knife on him, and he tries to take it away from her and defend himself. Well, the what the fuck moment is when Walter Jr. calls the police and says his dad has pointed a knife at his mom and tried to attack her. And I'm like, what the fuck? You were standing right there and you saw everything. You know that ain't what fucking happened. But I don't know. that moment pissed me off, to be honest. I'm like, what the fuck? Isn't Walter's life bad enough? And then you're just adding to it. And so Walter calls this guy that Saul knows that can give you a new life, hide you away, if the cops are after you. So now Walter is like in Nebraska, I think, and he's like stashed away in this like little cabin out on this reservation, and well, he doesn't stay there, and he goes back into town, and he makes this phone call because he's not supposed to. The guy that gave him this new life told him, if you go off the reservation and you get seen and I found out, I'm not gonna help you anymore. So what does Walter do? He goes into town, and he calls Walter Jr. trying to give him more money, and Walter Jr. ain't having it. And that was sad because that was their last conversation. That did not go well. Like Walter Jr. and Skyler assumed that Walter had something, that they think that Walter killed Hank. So Walter Jr. doesn't want to have anything to do with his dad, Walter. So yeah, it was really sad. And this show did not end with a happy ending. It was the last time Walter got to see his son, Walter Jr., was through a window, and that was it. And then so he goes and saves Jesse when he got kidnapped by these guys, and he saves him, and they have one final like goodbye, I guess you could say. Like they stare at each other for a minute, and then Jesse leaves. Walter gets shot trying to save, or in the process of saving Jesse, and well, he goes back to their meth lab, and he dies on the floor. And while the cops, are coming, and that was it. That was the series. I didn't have any problems with this season at all, or the ending. And one thing I wish that didn't happen was I already knew Walter was gonna die, because like years before I even started watching this show, I just started watching it recently, but a few years ago I found out that somewhere, and I've just always remembered that. So that was the only surprise that I saw coming, and I wish I wouldn't have known that, but oh well. This day and age, it's hard to stay away from spoilers. But that is it for this review. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. Perfect in my opinion, and I'll probably do a series review, a spoiler-free series review for anyone that hasn't seen it. So yeah, guys, that is it, and I'm really sad that it is over now, because that was really fun, binge watching Almost Perfect series, and for that to have happened in my lifetime, that's pretty cool. And I'm glad that I got to see it. And I did, I'm glad I remembered, but I did replace the first season of Breaking Bad, because if you watched earlier video of mine, I said that I had got Breaking Bad season 1 at a pawn shop, and they had the season 2 DVDs inside of it, along with the season 2 cases, and I didn't see that at the pawn shop. and I didn't know until I got home. So I was mad, but I did get to replace it. So now I have season 1 and 2, and hopefully I'll collect them over time. But anyway, guys, that is it. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. I'll be very happy if you did. And subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you guys later.